Jay here for Stretford, Paddock. That's Joe Smith. Nottingham Forest 2, Manchester United 2. The winning run is over. However, we are still unbeaten thanks to Ahmad's late equaliser. Gonna get into it. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you're getting involved in the chat and the comments as we review the game. Joe, it's a bit of a mixed bag, the feeling in the studio at the minute, isn't it? Because we thought, come on, we can make it 4 in a row. And we haven't done that. And we were in the lead, so that is annoying. But the flip side is we were behind for a big chunk of that second half, and we did get a point in the end. So just sum up how you're feeling after that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens with a draw, isn't it? We'll look at the performance, I think, and try and work out what went wrong, what went right. That 5 minutes after half-time was shit. And it was really bad that, the way United allowed Forest to have possession around our box. We didn't close our men down consistently enough. That we gave them too much time. They scored from us giving them too much time on the edge of the box. Yep. Then they scored a minute later from us giving them too much time on the edge of the box. I think that we were punished twice in 4 minutes or whatever it was, 3 minutes, for essentially the same thing, which was just being sluggish.
Yeah.
There wasn't the right energy there, and for too many times during the game, there wasn't quite the right energy there, quite that same aggression and intensity that we've shown in the last few weeks. And that's been something that Amarim's been trying to bring to this team ever since he got here. Hard work, intensity, aggression, all the things that we, for so many years that you look at the team and we look like we're lacking athletes and we're lacking, hard workers and all that sort of stuff. That feeling had gone away a little bit over the last few weeks with the wins and the extra intensity that we've seen. And then, as you see, with the Premier League, you drop off 5%, 10%, and all of a sudden, anyone can kind of pick up points against you. And also, we've got to remember with Forest that, yes, they may be 18th, but this isn't the same. If we'd have played Forest 2 weeks ago, when they were on the cusp of, almost trying to get the manager sacked, basically, it would have been a very different game to today, where they've got a new manager. They beat Porto, 10 days ago, whatever. I know they lost against Brentford away from home, but this was their first home league game since Deitch got in. They had that energy. The crowd had the energy to it. It was a tricky place to go. But yeah, United needed to do better. It wasn't a particularly good performance at all, was it?
No, I completely agree. I mean, that was a weird 10 minutes in the beginning of that second half, because it was just like a different team came out, and like I say, we needed to be much, much better, and we weren't. And having been relatively comfortable in that first half, and I thought good value to be going in at the break in the lead, to come out and then just almost fall apart. It was like, what is going on here? Why have we still got this fragility that we just can't seem to sort of, I don't know, just be a little bit settled, a little bit calm, and still that sort of panic stations attitude we have and mentality we have. And this is something that Ruben Amorim is gonna have to fix, because it has been a big part of his reign, and even before he took over, it's something where United just seems to have this wobble in us, regardless of how comfortable we should be. But I completely agree with what you're saying about the whole, Sean Dyche thing and Forest. This is a different Forest side. I'm not trying to make excuses, because we should have won that game, in my opinion. Like, we should have, before it started, and obviously going 1-0 up, you think anything less than a win here isn't great. And I still stand by that. But we have to put a little bit of context into it. Get involved in the chat in the comments. Let us know what you think. A little bit of a mixed bag. Who do you think played well in particular? Who let you down? What do you think of the fact that the manager didn't make a lot of substitutions today, which isn't like him, because usually he changes it a lot, doesn't he? Yeah. He does the whole 5 subs thing. You know what I mean? He goes the whole hog. And yet today, I think it was Dorgu for Delo, it was Mazraoui for Yoro, thank you. Was that it? I think that was it, unless
That's all I can think of.
Unless I'm missing one. So he didn't go. I'll get in some comments. I'll get your thoughts on that. Steve Doyle says, subs are such an important part of the game. Why don't we make any? Sesko having his worst game in the shirt. Centre-backs dominating. Try something different. Brian McDonald has been a member of the first team for 29 months, says, think overall we're lacking intensity, especially start of the second. Will take time for Amorim to fix that, but very good to see we levelled it. J. Bo McSwiggins says, genuinely put this down to you can't win them all. So some good points there. I mean, the chat is sort of going back and forth, and I think there's a sort of mixed feeling, and I guess that's what you get from a draw where you've led and been behind, and obviously taking a point from the game, and it's away from home, but it's against a lower team. There's all sorts of ifs and but the caveats in there. It's not open and shut. This isn't a draw at the Etihad or Anfield where, well, I know we won at Anfield, where you go, oh, that's a great place to get a point at. But then the other hand, it's one where it's against the team that we were losing to, and I've got a new manager. So what do you make of it all?
Yeah, just on some of the points that people are saying about the subs, I was surprised that Mount didn't come on. I thought he would. That I wonder why that didn't happen, because he obviously really likes Mount, and I think Cunha had a bit of a dip. But then the other thing to remember is the last 5-10 minutes when we were pushing, Cunha was on the ball a lot more than he was the 10 minutes before that. Yeah. So sometimes it's like, oh, he's looking tired, he's not right. And we used to do this with Rashford all the time, where he's like, oh, Rashford's not been in the game for the last 15 minutes, let's take him off. Well, actually, if you've seen him play for the last 200 games, the odds of him popping up after he's looked tired for 20 minutes is a lot higher than most other players. You know, some players you have to know whether they've dipped off because they're knackered and need to come off, or whether they've still got another sort of turn of the gears in them. And I think we did see a bit of that from Cunha as the game went on. He did actually come back with a little bit more. In terms of substitutions, again, I think that we don't have that many options on the bench.
I don't think
what are you
it's
going to do, bring Maguire on to win you the game?
I mean, I get your point, and I like Mount. He's been good this season.
Basically, Mount is the only option.
Yeah, I mean, you know me. I like Mainu, but is he going to get you a goal? Probably not. Yeah. You know, he can score goals. I'm not saying he can't, but he's not renowned for it. Xerxes, yes, he's very good on the ball, and he's an attacker, but he's not prolific. No. It's not like you go, I can't believe. It's not like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sat on the bench, and you're going, why isn't he coming on? So whilst me personally, I would always make changes when we change the game. But maybe he's looked at Anfield, for example. Cunha grew into the game, got better as the game wore on, as something in his locker, and was getting better in this game. Who else is there? Sesko wasn't doing much. Maybe that is one that is a little bit surprising. Maybe he's thinking, look, he's 6'5", whatever he is. If we get a last-minute corner or last-minute, dead ball, there's an opportunity to get his head on it. And he is an attacking goal scorer.
And also, is he more or less of a goal threat than Joshua Xerxes?
More.
Let's just look at the numbers over the last few seasons.
This is it.
So I don't think it's that crazy. I would run things slightly differently, but I don't think it was like a disgrace from Amorim in terms of the subs he made or didn't make. And also, whenever you win a game, the subs were great. Whenever you don't win a game, the subs were shit, and whatever you'd have done differently would have won it us. And it's like, well, you don't know that whatever, it was only 2-2 in a game that was pretty even.
Yeah.
So these subs that you make are just as likely to hurt you as they are to improve you if you don't get them right. Yeah. So I always think, especially in a tight game, not changing too much isn't always a big problem. If we were 100%, if we were 2-1 down going into the last 10 minutes, or into the last 6 or 7 minutes, should I say, and we're really pushing, I think we would have seen some more rolls of the dice right at the end. But I just think that it was a really close game that they could have easily got a third as well as we could.
You pointed out for the Brighton game when me and you were chatting the other day, and you said that the players came on, looked off the pace.
Yeah, they did.
They looked like, because of the intensity of the game, because they hadn't played a lot of minutes, and it was like they were coming on and they were taking 10 minutes to catch up. You could have. I'm not making excuses for Amorim, because like I just said, it was up to me, I would have made changes, but I understand this argument. You could have brought players on with 10 minutes to go who took 10 minutes to get into the game.
Yeah.
And during those 10 minutes, Forest could have scored. So I get that you're looking at it, if you're Ruben Amorim, you're going, look, I haven't got an out-and-out obvious goal scorer here or anyone. I think the players are growing into this game. The intensity is quite high. We've probably been better the last 10 minutes than we were the previous 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Is it worth me just letting these players try and get that winner? And to be fair, the ones who came closest at the end were United with that shot from Ahmad that was blocked. So
and by the way,
I do get that argument, even if I don't agree with it. That's my point. It's this: people do the whole thing. I just can't understand the thinking here at all. It's so beyond my capabilities of comprehension. Well, you might not agree with someone, but you can still understand it.
Yeah,
which is where I'm at with that.
Yeah, I don't think it was that terrible. I think the problem was the intensity wasn't quite there, and people, some of the chats were talking about being able to build that back up, and that's Amorim's job to sort that. But we've got so much better at that over the last sort of few weeks and few months. So Amorim has mentioned so many times about work rate and intensity and the physicality of the Premier League that's necessary. We were just off that a little bit today, and that literally cost us 2 goals. We didn't close our men down quick enough at the edge of the box. There were duels, there were moments in the middle of the park where we weren't in the right positions and we didn't win the physical battles the way we should have done. And I honestly think that's why we didn't win today. Yeah. I don't think it's this. We need a massive inquest. We need to rewrite the sort of the book on what Amorim's trying to do with Man United. I think we've got Mbeumo looked good again. Ahmad was up and down, but had some good moments, especially in the second half. Cunha was in and out again, but started well, ended well. Sesko, we need to find ways to get more balls to him in the box, but that was the case against Brighton. That was the case against Liverpool. That was the case against Sunderland. And I just think at times Yoro looked a little bit lightweight in the box, but overall was okay. You know, it wasn't a terrible performance by any means, but our intensity was 10% down, and that allowed them at times to have the space they needed to get the ball in the back of the net. We've just got to pick that up and not drop that off when we go away from home, especially because for some reason at Old Trafford, that extra bit of momentum of the crowd and the cheering and the screaming of Old Trafford just makes you, I'll sprint to my man at the edge of the box, I'll push it an extra sort of yard for that tackle. And away from home, we don't quite do that yet. But the manager's mentioned that a million times. He's aware of it. It's just about getting the players to fix it. And again, I don't think a 2-2 away from home at, you know, pretty much any ground in the league, it's not a great result or even a good one, but I don't think it's a disaster.
If you was the manager, what would you have done today? What would you have done? Like, do you think is the thing?
I would have brought Mount on. I would have taken Cunha off. I would have taken Cunha off about 60 minutes in. Assuming Mount's fit, I would have brought him on because we were lacking intensity, especially down our left-hand side. Yeah. I thought Dalot was missing that as well. I think bringing him off for Dorgu was a good thing to do. Yeah. They had too much time on the edge of the box around our thing. But also, I wouldn't have done that in the 46th minute or whatever it was that they scored. No. And then I wouldn't have done it between the 46th and the 49th minute. So it was, you know, after that weird fucking mad 5 minutes, they didn't score again, did they, Forrest? They barely looked like scoring again. No. So it's hard for Amrin because, you know, people say, oh, he waited too long to make his subs. He didn't make enough subs. But everything he did, subs-wise, we scored after that. After the subs were made, we won the game 1-0. Yeah. So unless you expect him to make subs at half-time, I think
you don't usually make subs at half time when you 1-0 up there, unless it's like game management, someone's injured or it's the second leg and that on aggregate you're 5-0 up. Or whatever.
I think people are reaching to try and blame it all on the manager, or on one decision. Who in their right mind would have made the subs that would have fixed those 2 goals at half time? No one would do that.
No,
then after the subs were made, like I said, we won.
I think the 60-minute thing is a good point. Because I think, I know you said, I was just talking about, you said how it took 10 minutes for him to get into the game. I think once you leave it to like last 10 minutes, that's when it's difficult. Because then it's like, are these players going to take a long time to get into the game or 10 minutes to get into a game where by the time they've got into it, the game's already finished or that could cost us. But I think the 60-minute mark would have made sense for a couple of changes, attacking changes, maybe Sesko and Cunha, maybe, Mount coming on, I wouldn't have been against. I'd never complain if Kobe Mainoo came on either. I think he could, he could still come on and you could push Brian and Bumo further up as well if you had Mount in there and Mainoo. I just don't think it was that shocking to me that the manager didn't make those changes. Yeah. I get it because we look back and we go, it's a draw, and had we won, we wouldn't have been having this conversation. But I just feel that it's not like I'm looking at Ruben Amorim going, mate, you've lost the plot.
No,
do you know what I mean? This didn't feel like Bilbao. Do you remember Bilbao? Where it was like, sorry, I keep saying Bilbao. I mean the Europa League final in Bilbao. Where was it like 68, 70 minutes, 70 odd minutes, wasn't it, until he changed anything? And we were terrible. And you're thinking, it's a final, what are you doing? It didn't feel anything like that. And I think he did the obvious ones. Dalot for Dorgu made sense to me. Yoro had a couple of moments, didn't I? I like Lenny Yoro. Yeah. There's a couple of moments. I mean, ironically, so did Mazraoui when he came on. But I just think, I'm not going to lose my mind at Ruben Amorim for today. I mean, get involved in the chat in the comments. Let us know what you think.
What people say?
Yeah, a bit of a mixed bag. Burnside is back. Glass half full for a change. Casemiro been brilliant for big parts of his calendar year. Carragher tried to end his career. Shocking he gets to move on after that remark. Filth of a man. I love that. Omar Jets says, Spitty should quit punditry. I think he's referring to, obviously, to Jamie Carragher there, who spat on someone once, didn't he? Matt, sorry, I should have got into this as well. Loads of people talking about Elliot Anderson. Loads of people. Mark Dockett is the last one I've seen saying bring in Anderson. I mean, I could have gone for about 50 comments on Anderson. Loads of people talking about Elliot Anderson. Steve Doyle in the super chat says Stallone had a good half, 25-26, maybe in a year. Marcus Adams says roll on when Rooney comes of age comes of age for our first team. On Elliot Anderson, if that was an audition, he's got the job, hasn't
he? Yeah, it's one of them, innit? We're not even doing callbacks.
Yeah,
you've got it.
You've casted you.
I'd not seen tons and tons of him. I think I'd watched 2 full 90 minutes of Forest this season before today. And in both games, he was brilliant. He is brilliant. And he's someone as well that not the one question mark, but because of the type of player he is, where he's an ever-present, always on the ball, constantly in your eye. If you're a non-Forest fan looking for Elliot Anderson, it doesn't take much to find him.
Yeah.
He's constantly got the ball, so he's someone that really does impress on an interview or an audition or whatever, just because he's so constant on the ball. He's always touching it, he's always passing it. He's the one they rely on for everything. The question for him will be, my question about him will be, whoever he goes to after Forest, and I'm assuming he will leave at the end of the season, can he control the big games when you're expected to win every week, not 1 in 3 or 1 in 2 like it is at Forest? How can he do that for the top teams? But the way he controls the game, and obviously I hate that I even have to caveat this because it's only people who are willingly going to sort of take what I say out of context. He's not the same player, he's not as good, he's not nearly as good. But I do see a touch of the Paul Scholes to him, the way he sprays the balls out and the way he gets the balls out of his feet accurately too. And I think as well he's got a bit of that. He's not just playing it to their foot, he's playing it to their left foot or in front of them to their right foot. He's a very, very, very good passer, and he's happy to control a game. And I think he'd be brilliant at United, personally. I think him next to either a Bruno or a more athletic sort of midfielder in there as your deep line playmaker, I think I'd be all over that personally. What did you make of him?
Very impressed. Yeah. Very impressed. I like what I saw. Yeah, I thought he was annoying me. He was. His passes was good. He was got around the pitch a lot. Has a lot of that energy that you need, and that's something we speak about quite a lot. Having these legs, having this energy, being able to get around the pitch, and he certainly fits that bill. And yeah, the quality is there. I was pleasantly surprised at how good he was, to be honest with you, because I've not seen a lot of him. And also, I don't ignore the England thing, but I know he's getting a lot of props for what he's done with England. But Tom Cleverley had a mint game for England. Everyone's comparing him to Xavi, Iniesta. It's like I'm more impressed with what I see at Premier League level. And I've seen, whenever I've watched him Premier League, not loads, but when I've seen him, he's looked really good, and certainly did today. Abhinav Verma says, we couldn't handle going second. Could we? That's a good point. We were second for about half an hour, weren't we?
Too crazy.
That was...
everyone got a nosebleed.
Do you know who's getting a lot of stick here?
Dallo?
No, I mean, yeah, he is, you're right. But, Parford, of course. Lenny Yoro.
Yeah.
Which, listen, I don't think we should be in the stage of Lenny Yoro isn't any good. This is what some of the comments I'm seeing. It's like he had a bad game, or he's been, he's had better games, whatever. It's people saying Yoro is, he's no good, or Yoro isn't it, or Yoro's. And I think, let's have a little bit of perspective here.
Not even get into that.
Yeah, Notch has come in and thankfully give us some, saying expecting a 19-year-old defender to be as good as Cannavaro. Fucking stop it. Yeah, I mean, look, Yoro has been mint for, I think, for Manchester United. Yeah. Wasn't one of his better games, but I don't think he's a problem or he isn't a good player.
Also, I think one of the things that people, I don't know, but I'm assuming that people are blaming him for, is it about their first goal? That he
it's just a lot of criticism. People are saying it's a mixture. I think it is right. I don't want to differentiate it. People saying that he didn't have a good game. I'm not criticising that or questioning that. I kind of get it, and I think there was a reason why he was subbed. I think there was a bunch of comments that were like basically saying Yoro's shit, he's not any good, he's not good enough, and all this, which is like, hang on a minute, I don't buy into the idea that he isn't good enough. He is. Yeah. He is good enough. I just think that it wasn't one of his better days, and I'm not worried about him. Thomas Wood Middlehurst says, Yoro is a teenager, his body will fill out, he will be ready physically. Yalek says, we're 8 points from first, and it's Arsenal. Omar Jet says, 120 million for Elliot Anderson is ludicrous.
Let's not pay that for him. I think Yoro was just not very good today. I don't think he was bad. Yeah. I don't think he had a bad game. I just think he wasn't great. But if people want to blame him for that first goal, I don't think that's on him at all. It's Ahmad's man. It's not Yoro's fault. Ahmad's 5'8". It's not Ahmad's fault either. He didn't pick that. But if you're going to be challenging 1-on-1, Yoro had a man that he was jumping with as well. It wasn't like Yoro left Ahmad by himself with his man. Unfortunately, if you want to play with a very technically good, tricky, attacking, small right wing back in Ahmad, sometimes he's going to get isolated by a taller player and he's going to lose an aerial duel. That's just fucking physics, and I'm more than happy to make that sacrifice for 95% of games. I think it's worth it, and we saw Ahmad at the other end with the goal. That's fine. You can accept that. What you can't accept is the way the ball got in the box because we didn't close it down. And the fact that when it happened once, we allowed it to happen a second time. And that's nothing to do with Ahmad's height. So, or Yoro not watching. it's for me, it's a structural thing and a work rate thing, and I don't blame the manager for that. I think it's just the way the players. Everyone knows if you've got a man on the edge of the box who's looking to cross it in, you close him down.
Yeah, closing down was a big issue today.
That's Sunday League stuff.
Yeah, I hear that.
I've never been a good footballer, and I'd have got a bollocking for that.
Yeah.
So some things are just, they're on you to do the right thing. And I don't think it was Yora's fault in particular. I also saw a comment there, someone saying that I said Bruno was better than Paul Scholes. That never happened. Just carry on, that's all.
Okay. I don't read certain comments because I just think,
I like it.
Like, you know what I mean? It's a super chat. You got to read it.
Rarely stuff like that.
A few people telling me, by the way, to go back on holiday. So if we're going to read out one negative to Joe, I should read loads of people telling me to go back on holiday. I don't mind that, but can we say go back on holiday, not vacation? We're not in America.
Might be.
I don't care. I'm not.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
so it's not vacay.
No, that's true.
Brian McDonald says we lose this match last year. By the way, people tell me to go on holiday. I mean, you might be saying it because you don't like me, but a lot of it is because it's my fault we've not won. Because when I was away, we won that game.
100% record of 1. But it sort of felt like your head was on the beach for the Liverpool game.
Yeah, I think the Liverpool game as well, and the fact that also when we won, City lost and Liverpool lost again.
Yeah.
It was like that whole weekend was great.
Lives,
and I wasn't here, so I get it. I'll happily go on vacay again. Brian McDonald says we lose this match last year. Taming the draw shows progress, but it still wasn't good enough overall. There was another chat that...
That's a good point, by the way, just while you found that next chat. How nice is it? And it's hard to find anything that's particularly nice after that, but we can play poorly off our standards and not lose comfortably.
Yeah.
Like there was still some fight after we went 2-1 down. We've got more threat in attack. We've got good players doing good things, scoring goals, and we can have a bad day at the office against a team with a new manager and a bit of impetus, and we still don't lose. That, again, it's a step in the right direction. I know everyone wants to finish second and title challenge against Arsenal, but realistically, it's about taking small steps across the season, and I think we're still seeing that. So I'm not completely destroyed after that game, to be honest.
No, Ned the Red says, glad we didn't concede. Happy with the performance. Need an upgrade on Delo. Delo getting a lot of stick. Hash Brown says, fair result. The first touch passing patterns were so much better than before. Cunha a little bit off. We could lose these games normally in the past. There was another chat, I think. Purple Yoda, who's been a member of the first team 57 months, my bro. Thank you. Says that Trevor seemed like a sound guy who knows what's what. Yeah, he's ace Trevor. It was always good to see him. Look, I think we've chatted enough here. Yeah. We've been through the bones of it. Some people happy. No one's happy. Some people okay.
How are you feeling, Jay?
I'm all right. Do you know what I mean? I think this sounds proper 2-bit. I think we might have... This sounds a bit 2-bit, but the fact that we are a bit disappointed that we've drawn is something. I get it. The fact that we battled and got a draw is something as well. Mm-hmm. And it's, in the wider context of things now, it's not, I'm old enough to remember winning everything under Fergie. I'm not going to get the bunny out because we've gone 4 games without a loss, but it is 4 games unbeaten. And I know it's annoying we didn't go 4 in a row, but on the whole, I think there's reasons to be sort of optimistic on the Ruben Amorim. And after this Brentford game or the Grimsby game, I feared the worst. Yeah. So I just feel like we're okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
100%,
we're okay.
100%.
I think a big game next week, me and you speak about this all the time, is Spurs, innit? Now, the thing with Spurs, and I think this continues for this season, and we will get in Spurs next week, we don't need to go into it now, but Spurs are one of those teams where they're a good team, they're a good test, you can't take it for granted, but they're beatable, and when you beat Spurs, it's like that's a decent team.
Feels like a good win.
Yeah, you've not beaten just a team that's just got promoted. You got promoted, that team, no one cares, Burnley. If you beat Spurs away, people go, but they are beatable. Yeah. It's not like, not many teams do that, well, you did it. So I think that's a good test of where we're at.
Me too.
This today didn't go our way completely, but it's not the end of the world, is it? We have got some Paddock merch, as you can see. I'm wearing it, the green and gold. We've got other stuff. Look at this. Hey?
All singing, all dancing.
All singing, all dancing. A little graphic we've got there. I'll put it in the chat if people want to get in and have a look at some merch. It helps support the channel as well. That's been Joe Smith. Go and check him out on Sloppy Joe's podcast. I'm going to have Andy Tate on the channel very shortly as well. I'm Jay Motti. This has been a review. Manchester United drawing at the City Ground. Thanks for watching.